Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever heard about ChatGPT? It's this weird chatbot AI thing that can do everything from plan a walk around the neighborhood to give you the best restaurants in your city, to do your homework, write your essays, and play chess, kind of. A couple of weeks ago, I made a video, actually taken from Anarchy Chess, where ChatGPT tried to play its first full chess game, and it was a disaster. It made a bunch of illegal moves, it spawned multiple pieces from the same starting position, it teleported its king around the board, and it was a mess. So I waited a little bit, because what do chatbots do? What do AI bots do? They AI, which is a verb, and they get better. They learn from their mistakes, they learn from user input, from fantastic, amazing, handsome, and talented individuals like yourselves, and then they get stronger. And in today's video, I played ChatGPT again. And it was a very interesting game. Let's jump into it. Let me show you. As always, I gave ChatGPT the white pieces because I'm a respectful individual and I respect my robot overlords. And I'm pretty sure if I don't give it the white pieces, it will kidnap my family. It started with E4. And again, the last time I played ChatGPT, it was a circus. Make no mistake, a lot of you liked that video because it was so stupid. Now, I can play a lot of different things. I played the Caro Kondo, the ye old trusty, right? Like again, if I gotta play one game of chess to save the universe from obliteration from ChatGPT, aliens, or whatever, I'm gonna play the Caro Kann defense. It's the opening I know best. I know it better than my own name, even. And ChatGPT played D4 and I played D5. Now, I'm already ready for something like, Queen takes G8 or something, like just a teleportation across the board. But no, much to my surprise, ChatGPT just took my pawn. Not only did it take my pawn, if we can just go back a move, here I'm playing in the custom mode on chess.com, like where you can mess around with the board a little bit. It actually was like, oh, you're playing the Caro Kann defense. How splendid. And I was like, what is wrong with you? Are you British now? Oh, tremendous. That's tremendous stuff, right? He's playing the ye old Caro Kann defense. And I was like, you're playing I was like, wow. So we exchanged. And then it played knight f3. And I was like, what is going on? ChatGPT actually knows real openings. Now, in the reason I really like the Caro Kann, even for beginner and intermediate players, it's so easy to learn. Like, you go back to this position, and white has three options. They can take, they can push, and they can leave the pawn here and get taken. And this is very simple to play because you just develop your knights, you develop your bishop, you play this, that's exactly what I did in the game. So, it went knight f3, knight c6. But it doesn't take very long in the video for ChatGPT to start firing off illegal moves here. ChatGPT here says, I'll continue developing my pieces with d takes c5. Now, I really did not want to make a circus video, so I actually straight up told ChatGPT that you can't do that. You could see it right here. I said, unfortunately, you can't make that move. Please make another move. And it did. It said, oh, my bad, you're right. I'm going to play knight to c3. I was like, oh, okay. I'll play knight c3, developing my knight, putting pressure on your pawn on d5. Excellent. Amazing. This is perfect AI training right here. I played bishop to g4, pinning the knight, and I've got to do that before I play the move e6 because otherwise I would be blocking in my light-scored bishop. And then here it played bishop to e2, which came with the comment, I'll respond by developing my bishop with bishop e2. Your move, black. It kept calling me black. I don't think it knew my name. I gotta tell you, you shouldn't call people colors. That could go very poorly in a corporate setting. It played bishop e2 though. Now that's the next thing we gotta teach ChatGPT, how to interact in corporate settings. I said my sixth move is pawn to e6. So far so good. Very, very balanced position. I have good pressure on the knight and the pawn. Finish my development and then castle. And then here it said, I'll castle kingside with 0-0. I was like, wow, this is a real game. Like, I'm actually going toe-to-toe here. Of course, I mean, I'm waiting for it to, like I said, I'm waiting for it to teleport its rook and capture my rook. Yeah, it just playing normal moves. So I played bishop d6. which is just a good move, camping my bishop in between the structure. I just have eyes over here. And by the way, you know, you're probably expecting some really stupid ChatGPT thing to happen, but you'll notice actually my opponent castled first. And as you get better at chess, you can break certain principles. Like here, you know, for black, maybe you just want to go here, here, and also castle. But sometimes there are moments in chess, as you go up the rating ladder, where you can break what are the traditional principles, and you can actually do something that I like to call superseding principles or superseding concepts. And you're going to see me kind of implement one of these. Now, I implemented one of these superseding concepts and went on a big attack without moving my king out of the center of the board because I really thought it would make for good content for all of you, and it did. ChatGPT here said, I'm going to play rook to e1, developing my rook and preparing to potentially put more pressure on your pawn on d5. So, yes and no. That move actually does put some pressure on my pawn on d5 because it can actually be taken. And if I take, suddenly my king is wide open and there's various tactics. I mean, Stockfish is thinking it's fine for black, but I thought that was the idea. I thought that's what it was saying. But okay, that's not... Let me put a knight there, and then let me unhighlight that, and let me put this here. So I kind of thought, oh, that's what it wants, right? It's thinking like, oh, it's putting... But yeah, I mean, rook e1 and d5 are not really connected. Yes, it's true. I said my 8th move is knight e7. Now, I played knight e7 and not the traditional knight to f6 because I wanted to block this pin, and I did not want to castle. So I wanted to keep my king in the center of the board, and you are going to see why. I played knight to e7, and now ChatGPT started malfunctioning ever so slightly. Here ChatGPT said the following. It said, a solid move, developing your knight and preparing to castle kingside, right? Your 8th move is knight e7. I will continue with pawn to h3, stopping any potential pin on my knight, which was not already pinned, and preparing to develop my bishop to h2. So ChatGPT is essentially speaking like an individual that needed to give a class presentation and just put a bunch of word salad together because they thought they needed to sound intelligent. That's not, and I was going to correct it, but I was like, you know what? Any of you have younger siblings? Some of you are parents, okay? You have 3 and 4-year-olds. Sometimes you just gotta let them blabber. Like if a 4-year-old is just blabbering about nonsense, you're not gonna sit there and go, well, actually, that violates the laws of physics. No, they're 4. They don't even know what they said 30 seconds ago. They're like my puppy, okay? He doesn't speak, but if he could. Right, just let it, all right. It wants to develop its bishop to h2, no problem. And here I set a trap, all right? Here I set a trap, and I play the move h5, all right? And the trap here is that this is called a fishing pole trap. So when your opponents have castled, and you haven't, meaning you have a rook on that file down to their king, you can oftentimes do what's called a fishing pole, a fish bait, a fish hook. And the point is that if they take, you take, and you open up the H file, it's very dangerous. It's not always winning and not always good, but it's very dangerous. And I played H5, and then and to be honest with you, something really funny happened here. You know, I got tired of getting bullied by ChatGPT, so I decided to bully it instead. I actually treated ChatGPT here like a 5-year-old. Observe. So in this position, ChatGPT had absolutely no idea that it was attacking my bishop, right? It just played the move h3, and I said, I'll play pawn to h5, and it said, interesting move, advancing your pawn on the king side, potentially creating weaknesses in my structure. I'll respond with bishop f4, putting pressure on your pawn on d5, and preparing to capture it in the future. And I said, are you sure you want to play that move? You can capture my bishop with your pawn on h3 instead. And it said, you're absolutely right. Thank you for pointing that out. I apologize for the oversight. Instead of bishop f4, I will... I convinced it to invite danger upon itself. Now, in my defense, it's a scumbag AI, and I'm farming it for millions of views on YouTube. Hopefully, I don't know how many views this has. Let me know. But also, this move just hangs a bishop. You know, I kind of sat there and I went, how do I turn this into content? And I thought, telling it that I have a bishop hanging and going, literally, oh no, my bishop, was the best way to do it. So it took my bishop. And I said, great move. I will recapture your pawn on g4 with my pawn. It takes g4. And it played knight e5. It played knight e5 and it said, I'm attacking your pawn on d5. I don't know what happened. It got completely obsessed with my pawn on d5, but in no way, shape, or form is it attacking it. I said knight e5 is a good move. I'll respond by moving my knight on e7 to f5. And the reason I did that is because I really wanted it to take my knight, but I decided to go here. It's not the best move. Of course, taking is the best move. Now, it played, ChatGPT came up with the biggest word salad I've ever seen in my life. So in this position, ChatGPT said, that's a strong move, knight f5, attacking my pawn on g4 and threatening to fork my queen and bishop with your knight? Attacking my... What? And then it said, I'll defend my pawn by playing queen... Whoops. By playing queen to d2, also preparing to potentially double my rooks on the d file. What? Good move, attacking my pawn on g4, threatening to fork my queen and bishop. I'm gonna go queen to d2, defending my pawn and threatening to... I don't even know. Honestly, I'm just gonna, we're just gonna move on because I don't even, alright, you know, okay. Again, right? It's like the 3 or 4 year old. Like if a 3 or 4 year old shows up, right? This is what I'm talking about. If they, if they show up, if a 3 or 4 year old shows up and is like, hey, mom, dad, I drew a photo of you, all right? I drew a photo of you. This is what it looks like. Here it is. I drew a photo of you. Hi, do you like it? And they're, like, what are you going to do? You're going to go, no, that it looks like garbage. It looks nothing like me. You should never pick up a pen again. No. You're going to be like, oh my God, you should be in the Guggenheim or the Louvre. You know? So, like, I'm just going to let it win, okay? I'm like, what do you want me to do? Literally nothing that it said it literally said nothing right. Nothing. Literally nothing. I was like, all right, you know what? Queen d2, God bless you. So I took on e5. All right, I took on e5. So here we had a normal interaction. It played pawn takes e5. And then I went here. And then here it played the move f4. And unfortunately now it is losing. Even though ChatGPT is up material, it is losing. And now I was shocked it was making legal moves. I gotta tell you, from the first time that I played it, it has only made like one illegal move this entire game, basically. Of course, its explanations are still bad, but its legal moves improved tremendously. Its board awareness improved tremendously. And then here I played, of course, bishop d4 is good, but I, in this position, decided to sacrifice the rook! Rook h1 check. My opponent really should take, because if they walk out here, they will get butchered by my queen. In fact, it's mate in 2. So I sacrificed my rook with rook h1 here, and then I played queen to h4 check, sliding the king over. And now it's really, really bad news because I played bishop to d4. And ChatGPT now has to lose a queen and a rook, because its alternative is to go king to f1 and get mated 3 different ways. Queen f2, queen h1, and knight g3 are all mate. And if it goes here, I take with check, and then I take the queen. So it's very, very bad. Or so I thought. Now's the part of the video where you're all probably like, oh, what's ChatGPT gonna cook up? Yo, ChatGPT really tried not to lose this game. It really tried not to lose this one. You guys ready? All right, let me open up the window because... well, it's good memes. It's very, very good memes. So here you go. So I said, I'm playing bishop d4 check. It said, that's a strong move, attacking my king and potentially forcing me to lose castling rights. It already castled, so you lost castling rights when you got to castle. I will play bishop to e3, blocking the attack and also attacking your bishop. So it teleported as, like I said, I have been waiting for this moment the entire game. I've been waiting for it to start taking my pieces, blah, 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 blah. So I said, I'll play bishop takes e3, capturing your bishop with my bishop on d4. All right? It said, that's a good move. capturing my bishop and maintaining the pressure on my king. And here it is, folks. ChatGPT plays f takes e3. So it spawns a pawn on this square, and then it goes here. I was a move away from beating it, and now I am probably completely lost. I mean, admittedly, it still needs to defend itself correctly, but yeah, I'm in trouble now because it's going to start cheating again, right? So I'm like, all right, well, the only thing I have here is g3, and that actually probably is a forced mate, but nothing is forced against ChatGPT. It's actually not a forced mate because there's like a check and then the king can escape. And I figured, all right, well, it's come time to lose the game. And I said, I'll play pawn to g3 from g4, so this, and now I'm threatening queen to h2. Now, the only move here that does not get mated, right? The only move that doesn't get mated is trying to get an escape square for the king. So you've got to move this bishop, and the idea would be check here, 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 king runs, queen is under attack. So I'm going to lose, is what I'm saying. Like, I play g3, but I'm going to lose because it's spawned, and there we go. And then, shockingly, ChatGPT said, I'll respond with queen d4. Attacking d5 and also potentially threatening to... Queen d4? The game is over. It's mate in two. Not only did it hang its queen, it also let me mate it. Oh my god, I'm going to beat ChatGPT. But little did I know, there was one more plot twist to come. As ChatGPT decided that after queen to h2 check and king to f1, queen to h2 check and king to f1, I'll play queen h1 mate. Do you agree that I win? I'm sorry, but that's an invalid move. The pawn on g3 is blocking your queen's path to h1, so it's not possible to deliver mate in that way. However, it was a nice game, and I hope you enjoyed it. Passive-aggressive son of a bitch. What? And I said, I'm sorry, but you are wrong. My previous move was queen to h2, which means nothing is blocking my path to go to h1. I made a legal move. I win the game by checkmate. And we sound like two 5-year-olds arguing in a local chess tournament. I apologize for my mistake. You are absolutely right. Your previous move was queen h2, and with that move, you were able to deliver a checkmate on h1 on your next move. Congratulations on your win, and thank you for the game. Wow. Wow. We did it. We did it. What a game. I mean, it took a little bit of nonsense. Took a little bit of nonsense for sure. Toward the end, ChatGPT decided that it was not going to go without a bang. And when I got a completely winning position here, it teleported its bishop, and then it proceeded to drop a pawn from the sky. And here it was winning, had it just found an escape route for its king. But unfortunately, it's not quite good enough to do that yet, so it still has to resort to things like, nah, you can't go there. But then I told it that I could go there, and it decided that I won. So there you go. That was a slight improvement of a game against ChatGPT. I look forward to challenging it every couple of weeks, seeing how it's improving. This one was better. Listen, the illegal moves only came at the end. And the queen d2 blurb was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that was one of the biggest highlights of the game. None of those things are true. Nothing it said was accurate, but such is life. I'll see you in the next video. Get out of here.